ladies in the locker room. We'll be right back.
Hey, hello, ladies.
Hello, hello, everybody.
Hi.
How's everybody doing? Why don't everybody introduce yourselves and tell the audience where you are?
I'm Felicia Dorch. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm in Houston, Texas.
I'm Lindsay Lane, and I'm in Orange County, California.
And hey, everybody, this is Swag Girl coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, and this is Hattie Lemon, and I am in Forest Park, Georgia. Ladies, let's tell everyone, how was your week? How's everybody's week been? I, of course, was in Chicago, and Felicia was in Chicago. I have to say that I've never been to Chicago to hang out, so
Oh,
it was nice. I really enjoyed it. I want to go back actually and spend a little bit more time there. But I had this little situation when I was there.
oh
I
God.
never knew there was this blue-green lake that
Yeah.
went through the city. And I'm like, where do y'all get this blue water from? In the middle of the city, and it's just right through the middle of the city. And it's like water from the ocean, but I'm told don't let it fool you. It's probably not that clean because it's a lake and it's running through the city. But it was just so beautiful. And
Mhm.
next week, the gentleman that we went there to interview, his name is Brandon B. Smooth Cox. And so next week I'll be showing you some footage from Chicago, and also we'll be interviewing Brandon, and I'll be talking about him. He's a kind of an urban legend in his own time, out of Chicago, from high school basketball to basketball in Canada, and now he's a philanthropist, and he's doing a lot of great works in Chicago, helping out homeless people and youth. And he's gonna be with us next Sunday. Felicia, how was your Chicago trip? We missed each other.
I was
Right.
We
gonna
were
say,
both
did you
there.
guys meet up?
No, we were both there, but we missed each other. We actually stayed really far apart. We didn't know we
Yeah.
were going to be so far apart, and we were. So we missed each other in transit.
It was honestly
Okay.
more my fault than hers. You can't hear me?
No.
Yeah. Oh, I can.
Okay.
Okay.
I can.
It was more my fault than
Can you hear us,
anything.
Lindsay?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, well, go on,
Yeah.
Felicia.
But what I was saying is, I actually lost a friend of mine on the way to the airport. Like my best friend died, while I was at the airport. So it just threw my whole day off. I wasn't in the mood. I was really down. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do it. And then by the time I decided to go meet Hattie, she was already going back to her room. So I was like, well, okay, we'll try it again next time.
Yeah.
But I did get to meet Brandon. So I'm excited to show the footage for that.
Really cool guy. What about you, Lindsay? How was your week?
It's going good. I actually was in Chicago, but it was not that week, but kind of like you guys, just really quick trip. And it's pretty far of a plane flight for just a couple days. But since I do charity events, it was only a night for that night, but it was a lot of fun. Got some pizza. Brian McKnight actually was there at the charity event and recommended a pizza place. So I was like, at least I got good pizza when I went.
At least you got to meet Brian McKnight.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Pizza.
true. Both of those things were great, but my
Yeah.
week's been doing good. Kind of just getting back into things. Auditioning for a few plays. I know I'm doing a play again. I know Hattie's like, oh no, play again, but doing that. But that's basically it. It was good
Well,
though.
the reason she
Watching the
said that,
Olympics.
yes, the reason she said that is because I was telling her plays are how I got started in television and film.
Mhm.
It wasn't television and film, it was theater.
Mhm.
So for many years, all I did was plays, play after play after play.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, so when am I going to be on TV? Do another play.
Right.
Okay. And when am I going to be on TV and do another play? So it was like, okay, I didn't get in this to do plays. I got in this because I wanted to be on television or be in a movie. So I was like, how then I did, and as a new artist, I didn't know how to transition from stage to television and
Mhm.
film. So I was just play after play after play after play. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do no more plays. I want to be on television. So that's
It's
what I
easier to go
started.
that way, though. I think it's easier to go from theater to TV than TV to
Theater.
theater, because it's a lot more that you have to memorize, especially if
it
you
is.
have
It
one of
really
the
is.
main parts. Yeah.
Like
So,
you did her first one, she was the lead, and it was a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like,
it was like
good luck.
stressed out the whole time. I'm like, if I do anything, like, no, because we had to film it because of COVID. So we did have, like, it was a play, but we did it like a movie. But I was like, if I mess up, you can't cut me out of this. Like,
Right.
it's the whole thing. I have every other line. So I'm like, every night, like every day, all day, like just memorizing these lines. Oh my gosh. But hopefully this one won't be as that bad.
That's
But
awesome.
it was a really quick learning experience, though. You learned a lot. I learned a lot, like, really quickly. So I like that part of it.
We also have our new lady, Adrian Swag Girl. What's going on, Adrian, and how was your week?
My week was good. It was relaxing. I've kind of put myself on a shut-in mission. And I just kind of been in the house getting prepared for fourth quarter, having Swaggerlicious, the website, and kind of keeping up with a lot of the media stuff. Just kind of preparing, like I said, for fourth quarter, and making sure the website is up to date and take care of some other business, getting ready for some holiday events. You know, I kind of stayed in the house and out the way.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Well, ladies, sounds like everybody had a pretty productive week, and we're just going to keep that moving. And like I said, I want to go back to Chicago, spend a little bit more time. What I did get a chance to do and see, I had a good time. I actually went to a drag show while I was there.
Oh wow.
Oh, no,
How fun.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a last minute thing. It was my last night, and I really wasn't planning on going anywhere. And I actually walked out of the hotel to sit down and have a conversation with my mom, you know, so that I didn't interrupt the young lady that I was with, because she was going to bed at like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I don't work at 6 o'clock.
6
anywhere.
o'clock.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. You know, I'm like, so I said, let me go outside. So I saw these ladies come out, they were all dressed up. I was like, hey, I look like I need to be going with y'all. They were like, well, come on. It's my birthday. It was, you know, it was Brenda's birthday, and they were from St. Louis. What's up, Brenda from the Loop? And so they say, hey, we're going to this place, and this is my birthday, and I'm celebrating, you know, my 50th, and I come on. And I'm like, he said nothing but a word. I ran upstairs and did my supermodel change. And the next thing
You
you know,
had
I
a
was
good
like,
time.
yes, it was really fun. I did. And then next thing you know, they were like, you wasn't kidding. I'm like, and we were gone. And we had a really good night out. It was my last night there, so we had a good night out. So it was fun.
I really enjoyed Chicago. That was my third time going there, and so I each time I got to see something else. But this time I didn't really go anywhere, but I did get to eat some type of popular sandwich, and I can't even remember the name of the
I think I know what it was. Was it soggy on? Was
Yes.
it soggy?
Yeah.
I had that too. It was soggy on a croissant.
Soggy looking something. I don't
It was
know.
on a
But it was
croissant, and then they turn around and pour some more sogginess on it.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not my
I had-
thing.
I had that too, and I'm like, they were like, it's good, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
it was okay. It was okay for me. I was like, and then even the Chicago pizza, it was okay. I'm a New York pizza girl. Give me my cheese running off. Give me my New York style pizza. And the Chicago, it was okay. But now I am with a fork, and I'm trying to cut it. And I'm like, I'm that pick it up, fold it in half, and bite it, and my lips is burning, and the cheese is dripping. I'm that kind of pizza girl.
I know that's right.
But I
Well,
did try the Chicago pizza though.
I haven't tried the pizza yet, but maybe next time. Well, ladies, it's time for us to step away. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hello guys, my name is Gloria. I am an instructor at LA Fitness Atlantic Station. I teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Saturdays, we hike. We go to a different location. Our classes are 5:45 at Atlantic Station. There's kickboxing, there's body work, there's power circuit, everything you can imagine. And then we hike. We hike Kennesaw, Stone Mountain, the Palisades. We go everywhere. Come out and join us. Find out what your mission is and have fun while you do it. You can find me on Facebook, Gloria Jackson, and I want you to have fun while you get fit. Come join me.
So Miss Gloria Jackson is a big ball of energy, and
Yes, she is.
it's Gloria Sunshine Jackson. She's got this big smile, and when she comes in, she brightens up the room. And boy, when she gets started, I had the opportunity to record her last week. She wants to do a couple of fitness videos and motivational things to help people get fit. So I started working with her. So next week I'm going to go take her class. Last week I taped her class. This week I'm going to take her class.
So, ladies,
Like
I
that.
got a text message because apparently I need to say it right. It was an Italian beef from Portillo's, not
Yes.
a salty something.
That was what I had. That's the same thing. I had it. That was it. It's a very popular thing in Chicago. Portillo's is a popular Italian restaurant, and that is a big deal there. I had it as well. It was the same thing, and the reason it's soggy is because it's on a croissant. You know, it don't take much to soggy up a croissant. You put the meat on it, and it's gonna get soggy, and that's what happens. And then they got some sauce that they put on top of it. And next thing you know, I was slicing that and eating that with a fork. But
We have a Portillo's around us. I wonder if it's the same.
it is. It is.
Okay.
It is. They were saying that there was one in California.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it. It's pretty good.
It's a big deal. And I'm
Yes,
like,
it is. It was interesting. I enjoyed half of it because it's huge, and I asked for a small, but it was still huge. But it was interesting. I'll say that. So,
it was interesting. So, ladies,
There's
it's a
other
lot.
things we can try. You can try next time. There's a bunch of
right.
stuff on the menu. That's pretty good.
So, ladies, there's a lot going on in sports. Anybody, have you been watching the Olympics? Have you been keeping up with the Olympics,
Yeah.
ladies?
We won in gold medals and overall medals with 113 medals, and China got the second most, which was 88. But we won in gold, I think just by one. Yeah, 39-38. We won last night, like late last night. I saw that, and they're like, "Okay, and we're done. We won by one, like one
By
gold
one
medal, like
medal.
yeah, for the gold." But 113-88 was the next country, so we did really well.
USA, Team USA.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant did good. They brought home the 4th gold medal now in the NBA for the Olympics. The 4th.
The new dream team.
Yeah.
wow.
And then, you know, for him to leave the NBA finals and then run over to China, him and Booker and a few of them left the NBA finals and then ran over there and still participated was pretty awesome. Especially
was.
Kevin after coming off of a huge injury last year. That was huge for him. Really,
And
really huge.
he's like won multiple other gold medals, but this one he was still really emotional. He was saying this was the hardest one to do because of all the circumstances with COVID and then coming from the NBA finals. So it was great to see, and the women won too. So it's another, and we're good. Like we're killing it in both basketball, like men and women. So.
USA. USA.
For the WNBA also, because those really play hard and they really have a good game. I just wish we could pack out those arenas. Well, maybe not now.
We talking about the ladies?
Yeah, for the WNBA, you know, they have less of an audience participation when it's down to supporting them in the local team. Like I know our Atlanta Dream Team, like they're phenomenal. There's some phenomenal girls on there, but the audience is like 10 people there.
Yeah, and you know what I tell everybody, you gotta go. If you go at least once, then you'll see what we're talking about. Those girls play hard, and the game is really, really awesome. And I tell people that all the time. Just go, at least go once, because the WNBA is no joke.
And it's a totally different game than the men's. Like the men's have a completely different style of playing than the women. So it's
So-
good to see both.
Like they're more comfortable, and the women are very aggressive.
Very.
In a real game, when you look for whatever, for me, it's like a real game when you look at the
But
women.
that's all women. That's all
I
girls.
was gonna
sports.
say, yeah.
Like all of them. When I played softball,
Yeah,
there were
but I
bets.
just, but we'll see. I mean, because they did contribute to winning and bringing home some of those medals in the Olympics, so they have to be adding up to something. So they got to be worth us
We hope.
Right.
Olympics paying attention, and they're actually bringing home medals for us.
We can only hope. And I played women's basketball. That was one of my sports. Justin, understand. I do know about the aggression. I was a little person, but I could play. But when they couldn't stop me from they couldn't stop my game, so it became just hurt her.
Yeah.
Just
That's
hurt
the
her.
same thing I went through with softball.
Yeah, just hurt her. Just hurt her. Oh yeah, and I got hit with softball too. And that was the thing that really disappointed me and why eventually I kind of walked away from basketball, because it became more of just hurt her. You can't stop her, hurt her. And that just disappointed me, because I had been playing with the boys long before the girls even had a team.
Right.
Never had an injury, never got hurt, just played the game. But as soon as the girls got where they can play, they would get angry. And if they could not stop you through the game, they would stop you by hurting you. And that just really disappointed me. And like you said, the women, they're still that aggressive.
Right.
Oh, for sure. They are.
Yeah, you know,
But,
volleyball.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, volleyball, at least you have a net that you're supposed to stay on one side. So it's not as basketball, you can just not. And water polo, if you see the water polo girls, I'm like, you can drown these girls. Like, I feel like they're pulling them down. They're like pulling at their suits. Like, I had friends that played water polo, and they said they had to wear multiple suits because of one being ripped. It's just, it gets pretty aggressive. So, but I think we're going to have another quick break. And when we get back, we're going to do some of our sports quickies for you.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds good.
Run hard. Dance fitness. Keep it going.
Cross, hook, cross. Last 10 seconds. Come on, jab cross, jab cross, jab cross. Go fast, Lyric. Go fast, Lyric. Come on. Bring it to me, Lyric. Come on. Time.
A sports quickie. Well, everybody, welcome back to Ladies in the Locker Room. We're going to start our sports quickies off with Felicia. So what do you have for us this week?
All right. So a big welcome home to Simone Biles. She was welcomed here in Houston at the airport. Massive parade and everything. And it was so phenomenal to watch, everything that she's going through, and some of the people that were trying to put her down about what she was feeling and what she was going through. And we all know that mental health is so important. It reminds me of a story with my brother who ran track, and he went to state and we practiced. And I say we because I helped him get ready mentally and physically, helping kind of train him, just kind of being at his side as that person that he could go to and talk to and get him mentally ready for this race. And we got to Austin, and it's like he just could not get into the zone that he would normally get in, and that it's really real. And unless you're an athlete and you've been in those high pressure instances like Simone Biles was in, you have to determine if you're going to try to go ahead and do the event, or not. And luckily, she chose not to try to do that event because she wasn't mentally prepared and ready for it. And like I say, you have to be an athlete to understand that. My brother, on the other hand, I tried to push him and the coach pushed him and he ran it anyway, ended up pulling a hamstring and almost made it so he couldn't run again. So I was really excited that they welcomed her with open arms. I was excited to see that she went on to the Texans camp and saw her boyfriend. She's dating a guy there, and I'm sorry I forgot his name, but everybody welcomed her here in Spring, Texas. They did as well. They had a huge parade at the airport, leaving the airport, and once she got to her hometown of Spring. So just wanting to keep that on everybody's mind about mental health and understanding what these athletes go through, especially to go as far as being in the Olympics. It's one thing to be one of the best gymnasts that's ever been on earth, in my opinion, but then to add that to the Olympics as well, that's a lot of pressure. So I was just really happy to see a lot of other athletes and a lot of celebrities are stepping up and they're siding with her and having her back. So I wish her all the best.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Absolutely. And we're all really, like, again, USA, we're all rooting for her. And I don't think there's anyone who understands life and living and supports these athletes. And especially if you ever were an athlete, people demand so much from you. And then, and when you can't provide, it's all of a sudden they turn on you. Same thing with their teams. Some of the teams, their fans are such fair weather fans. Some teams, well, she's like, hey, Sean. Sean said she wasn't treated fairly, and that wasn't right. You're exactly correct. The reason, if she says she doesn't feel right and she needs to step down, and hey, who's to say she didn't? And
exactly,
she needed to take a moment, regroup, and then she came back and helped her team to win. So I think that was awesome, and I'm glad that they really threw the parade and supported her.
I think that was like a powerful moment when she came back and she finished on the beam and got the bronze medal. And it was just, she had to take a little bit off the end, but for her safety, but she still is good enough to win a medal, even when she takes does it easier. So I think that was just altogether, it was just a really powerful moment, I think. Regardless of what color the medal was, she came back and persevered.
And she came back.
I was just happy that she was able to stay in it mentally because of all the things that were said, all of the people coming at her. It's one thing to have something physically to happen to you, but the mental, it will just take you completely out of the world, and she was able to regroup, not listen to the chatter, and come back and still leave with a medal. Like Lindsay said, it doesn't matter which one, she's still with one.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're living in the times where the impossible is absolutely possible. And I think the thing that I loved about Simone was the fact that she displayed that even though, and a lot of us have these moments where you have to separate yourself from everything, even if it's just for a moment to recharge yourself, because you don't have anybody, you know what I mean, that's invested in you to like recharge. She had to regroup. She had to recharge. Unfortunately, it was during the Olympics, but during that time frame, she was able to get herself back and still come out there. And like we all agree, to prove that she was still number one, no matter where you are. Sometimes you just need to get yourself together. And so it made mental illness and mental health be okay. And so now we got to figure out what are the proper steps that we can take, because we got to learn how to manage this stuff. We can't just go nuts because we can't figure it out. You still have to manage yourself. She still has to be who she is.
Right.
We're all we're all dealing with mental issues. So I, applaud her for that step. She went from one side of the fence and jumped to the other.
Right.
And it was like, wow.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. And Hattie, so what do you have for us today?
Well, ladies, NFL season, football is my favorite sport. I love all sports, but football is my favorite sport. And go Steelers.
And she's starting already.
That's right. So yes, they had the Hall of Fame game and the Steelers were there. And I was happy to see the Steelers. And I told you one of my friends, Craig Ironhead Hayward, his son, Cameron Haywood plays for the Steelers, and I love Coach. I'm always rooting for him for the Steelers, and it was. Let me tell you something. If you were watching the pregame show for the Hall of Fame, there's a game between the Steelers and the Cowboys. Honey, the Cowboys coach called it out like we always knew. He said, anybody who knows me knows I'll do anything known to men to get a Super Bowl. I was like,
anything.
and now look, I already knew it. I don't know if y'all, I knew it already, but he just put it out there so the rest of y'all can find out. And I'm like, oh, well, there it is. So I was glad to see that they gave Dak Prescott, his contract, and he's getting better. And he's gonna get out there and play. But the Hall of Fame was so good this year, and these are some of the guys who made it to the Hall of Fame, and.
Awesome.
Last year, of course, it was almost missed out on because of COVID. So here we have our NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2021. Now, first of all, we have of the guard. Tom Flores, everybody knows him. Calvin Johnson, who was on Dancing with the Stars. John Lynch was a safety, 15 years. Peyton Manning, 18 years. Bill Nunn, who didn't play football. These are some of the other people. They didn't even play football. Like the thing about Bill Nunn, I was telling somebody, I said the only other Bill Nunn I knew was Bill Nunn from the movies. And he was, you remember Bill from Radio, he was Radio Raheem in Spike Lee's movie. His name is Bill Nunn. And Bill Nunn, when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, Bill Nunn play football? And that's what somebody else said too. Not the same Bill Nunn, but
goodness.
It was something else, to see. And I just wanted to go back over it a little bit. I know that went by really fast, but I just wanted to share a little bit more about these guys in the class. So the first one, the guard, Alan Faneca. He was 13 seasons, 206 games with the Steelers, the Jets, and the Cardinals. And then, of course, Tom Flores, who everyone used to know if you ever watched the Raider Nation. He was the Raiders from 1979 to 1987. And then 1992 to 1994, he was with the Seahawks. Calvin Johnson, wide receiver from Georgia. He had 9 seasons, 237 games, Georgia Tech. And then he played for the Detroit Lions from 2007 to 2015. And then John Lynch, who was a safety, he played 15 seasons, 214 games from 1993 to 2003 with Tampa Bay, and 2004 to 2007 with Denver Broncos. And then, of course, there was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, we know about the Manning brothers. Peyton quarterback 18 seasons, 266 games. And, he suffered a season-ending career, but came back, went to another team, and won another Super Bowl. He played from 1998 to 2011 in Indianapolis with the Colts, and then 2012 to 2015 with the Denver Broncos. And then there was Bill Nunn, who was a senior scout, 47 seasons with the Steelers. And he was a scout. He was also the editor of one of the most prominent magazines out of Pittsburgh. And he ended up becoming a scout because he knew so much about the teams and the players and all that. And he's done so much for Pittsburgh and the Steelers that he is in the NFL football professional Hall of Fame, and I just couldn't get over that. Then, of course, there was Drew Pearson, wide receiver. Drew, 11 seasons, 156 games from 1973 to 1983 with the Dallas Cowboys. Drew Pearson was another one that suffered an injury, a season-ending injury, but came back and went on to continue playing. And then, of course, Charles Woodson. We know that Charles is right now, he's also a sports commentator, but Charles Woodson, the cornerback and a safety, played 18 seasons, and he looks good. For someone to play 18 seasons in the NFL, he looks good. He was with the Raiders and Green Bay, and now he's a sports analyst. As I was saying, we get to see him every week, looking good. And again, again, this number 24 right here, that's Charles, and that's not the best picture. He looked better now that he doesn't play, but he looks good. But those guys, Peyton Manning, everyone knows about him, and I call him the commercial Manning because he has all the commercials. And of course, like I said, Tom Flores, again. Raider Nation. Anybody knows about Raider Nation knew about Tom Flores. So big up to all those guys. Congratulations for our class of 2021 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And just to see them now,
Yeah.
last year we missed out because of COVID. So there's a whole nother group of guys that I need to share, but I'm not going to share them right now. And they missed out last year. This is 2021. I'm going to have to come back and bring you the class of 2020, which
Okay.
also included a lot of people. So I'm just going to leave it with this group here, and we'll celebrate them. And I know you guys know that Dancing with the Stars. He went on and won Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
A
wow.
wide receiver.
Wow.
Athletes usually get on there with their big feet and they
Yeah, I
fumbling
would say
all
right
over
on
their
his feet
feet.
too.
And he, as a wide receiver, now the thing about wide receivers and their feet, just to give you a little bit of history, back in
Here
the
you go,
day,
Hattie. Here
no,
you
no,
go,
no.
Hattie.
Back
Is
in
this
the
in the
day,
history books?
yes, it is. Listen, let me just tell you. Back in
Okay.
the day, there was a very prominent wide receiver. His name was Lynn Swan. Lynn
Okay.
Swan actually took ballet lessons. Yes, he's from the Steelers. Yes. Lynn Swan actually took ballet lessons to help him stay light on his feet and to help him jump. And everybody was like, "What? Ballet?" So
Wow.
so I was like, okay, Lynn Swan and ballet, and then here we have someone else who went on and won Dancing with the Stars. So
Wow.
everybody just don't have big clumsy feet. So,
Okay. Well, all
but
right
that's
then.
my sports quickie.
One to
I heard
grow on.
I heard like some boxers do that as well. They take dancing, ballet, that type of stuff because they need to be quick on their feet as
Gotta be
well.
able to
So
move. Yeah, yeah,
you do, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like Muhammad
Wow.
Ali, stick and move, and then the ropey dope, the
Wow.
infamous ropey dope.
Well, maybe I'll try that because I tried to go take a little, little stripper pole little class, and
Oh,
I didn't even get off the ground. It felt like my shoulders came out the
That's
socket.
it's so hard, yeah.
Career was over. So I'm going to start with the feet. Next, the arms didn't work
well, you
out
know,
for
it's
me.
the stuff that's called junk in the trunk. And if the
Yeah.
junk is holding the trunk down, sometimes
Woo.
some people can't get that trunk up the
Whoa.
pole, you know.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I know is I just heard like a pop, and I knew it was
Pop,
over
pop,
for me.
and it was over.
And
It was
I
done.
wasn't even off the ground. Like my feet was still on the ground. So I don't know. Gravity just, I don't know. Maybe it was off that day. I'll try ballet though if it makes you light. Like, I can't be in the sky. If I can't climb the pole, maybe I can leap.
Just blame it on gravity.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
just what it was.
I
That's
did.
just what it was. It was gravity.
It was off that day.
All right.
Be it as
So
it may.
I am going to send it to Lindsay. Lindsay, what do you have for us today? What's your
Yes,
sports quickie?
Lindsay.
Just a little wrapping up with the Olympics, but the first thing I kind of want to talk about is the Tokyo Olympics were billed as the first gender balanced game, with 49% of the 11,656 athletes were female, and
Wow.
they had some of the most memorable moments of the games. Like we talked about, Simone Biles brought mental health issues to the forefront, and the women's basketball team won its 7th straight gold medal. The U.S. women's volleyball team defeated Brazil to win its first gold medal. Allison Felix competed in her 5th Olympics, with the first since she was a mom, and won her 10th and 11th medals and became the most successful American Olympic track and field athlete. And all of that definitely deserves a standing ovation. But the one thing is that, so their success kind of raises some questions. What took the International Olympic Committee so long to promote equality, and why doesn't a similar balance exist in the IOC's power structure? Its executive board is only 33% female, and its committee members are about 37.5% female. Of China's 88 medals, 47 were won by women. Women won 18 of Canada's 24 medals, and the telecast of the women's soccer team winning gold drew 4.4 million viewers and was the most watched moment of the Olympics in Canada. Women won 7 of Jamaica's 9 medals. Of the 36 medals won by the Netherlands, 21 were won by female athletes. And in the US, we sent 626 athletes to Tokyo. It won 113 medals, and 257 athletes contributed to the US medal count, according to the US committee. And of that number, 164 were female and 93 were male. So a lot of the athletes were asked about that. A couple of the basketball players, after they won again, and they're just kind of saying that they weren't aware of that, but it's kind of the beginning of hopefully some more equality, more young athletes, young women, young girls looking up to them and saying like they can go and win as well. So I think this is a good start, and hopefully this kind of like continues. I just wanted to kind of mention just really quickly, because volleyball player, the U.S. finally won a gold medal in indoor volleyball. They've won 3 silver medals and 2 bronze since first getting on the medal stand in 1984, but they were denied that chance in 2008 and 2012. So a girl that actually I played against when I was playing in college, college or more club volleyball growing up. Her name's Jordan Larson. She was on 2 of the teams when she got bronze and silver. And so she got the last kill of the game, which was really great to see. But they finally won, and it like one of the cool parts that I thought is that the original team of volleyball players all the way back. They started in the 1980 Olympics. They weren't sent to the Olympics because they boycotted in Moscow, but those group of girls still got together and watched every single game, and they were showing them kind of live streaming how and saying stuff, how they sent them little books along the way with little tips and kind of like inspiration. And I thought that was really great. And then Karch Karai, who their coach, he was only one of 2 coaches who's ever won a gold medal. And he joined Lang Ping of China as the second person to win gold as a volleyball player and then lead a country to a gold as a coach. So, and the final one is women's beach volleyball. They beat Brazil, and they beat Brazil. Okay, so Alex Kleiman, I was like, oh, okay, April Ross and Alex Kleiman, they won last week, and Ross was played in the previous Olympics and she got bronze and a silver, but she never won gold. So it was her first. Wow. It was her first win, and they played the Australians. I was talking about the Brazilians for the indoor. Outdoor, they played the Australians, and it was just great to see that women's out beach and indoor both won. So that's awesome. Pretty much my sports quickie.
Very, very awesome.
That was informative, man.
Right.
I felt like I should have joined. Thanks, Lynn. That was good. Sheesh. Okay. Well,
and before you move on, I did want to mention that Paul Palomalu, I call him the hair guy.
Right.
Palomalu also was inducted, and he couldn't make it because he caught COVID.
Oh, wait.
Yes, another Steeler. Yes.
Oh my God, her in this shirt.
He's another Steeler that made it to the Hall of Fame. Palomalu was the man back in the day, and he's always had these beautiful locks and curls of hair. But he got sick with COVID a week before, and they were waiting to see if he would be cleared to make it, but he didn't make it. But he made the 2020 team.
Okay.
Palomalo made the 2020 team, and we're going to keep moving right along. Lindsay, thank you so much. As Adrian Swag Girl said, of course,
Yeah.
Lindsay's always full of a lot of information, and that's what we love about her. And
Absolutely.
I mean, she's going to dig down into the deep roots of some of this stuff here, from the
Wow.
size of the balls, or who's
Yeah.
inflating the balls,
I like that.
and all of that.
I had a lot more, but I knew we had to keep it short this week. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was good, Lindsay. That was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to throw it to you next. So,
Okay, awesome. Well, as we pick up on the COVID aspect here in Georgia, one of the things in sports that I picked up on was a story on a high schooler, Tyler Fairley, and his he ended up being diagnosed with COVID twice. Went to the hospital, was sent home, and his parents are feeling like the doctors kind of got discouraged at the fact that he was not vaccinated, so they did not, give him the proper care. They just told him to stay hydrated and follow up with his doctor later on, and he ended up dying from it 9 days later because he wasn't vaccinated. The vaccination thing is getting ready to be like a real conversation, because now it's causing, where I'm seeing, the divide within the NFL as we roll over into that aspect of it, where we're seeing players are having to make definitive decisions if they are going to cooperate with the rest of their teammates and what the government is saying and go along with the vaccination experiment, or if they are going to opt out of their careers. So it's kind of going from, the game and being an employee to, turning into a political platform in which it never was to be, as we're looking at corporate America that are starting to fire people like CNN, discussing the fact that it's a zero tolerance for people not to be vaccinated, when I don't ever recall any employer asking you to be vaccinated. That just never was our dilemma. So the fact that it's rolling over into the NFL per se, or the sports period, it's causing a lot of players to have to determine if they're going to stay in the game or if they're going to go ahead and retire and figure out what else they're going to do. So I really just hope that we can come to a medium, really understand what's happening, and know that as of right now, this thing is really a choice. It's not absolutely mandatory. So I don't feel like people should have to give up on their lifelong dreams because of a situation that we didn't even bring here. We're just a part of the situation of what's happening. But I think it's unfair for a lot of the players to have to make a decision as such, especially if they're not ready. And a lot of them are just getting into the game if they want to get out. And then it kind of rolls over into us going to Alonzo Ball, was another story I had, into where reportedly they're looking at potential tampering violations into his deal. And they're investigating just to see if there's two key off-season signs and things that happened that they're looking into with him and another member. And the punishment for the NBA, or from the NBA, could ultimately end up being him losing his deal, period. And we know his father did like the ultimate marketing campaign just to even get them involved with having $10 million tennis shoes from a high schooler. So that's kind of interesting. And then we had another one as we go into the females who was involved in the Olympics and from Jamaica. We had Christine Mboma. I know I'm saying her last name wrong, but she's an 18-year-old who actually ended up winning the 200 meter race. And they are now had a former Polish sprinter demand yet a second sex reaffirming test to be done on her, because she ended up breaking records at levels that was just unheard of. So what they're saying is that she has
They
some
think she a
type of
man.
a condition. It's called hyperandrogenism.
Yeah.
And what that means is that you have elevated testosterone levels. And, it can happen. But my thing is, the girl is 18. Like, this is her first time being in something so major. Like, do we have to just dump American woes on her? Like, can she not just play and win fairly without being, having to succumb to all this? So it's like you run and you win and you're still questioned. And then if you don't get vaccinated, you're still, it's like everything is so questionable, but your talent is just getting overlooked, which is the overall reason why we're looking at sport. Is because of people's talents, not because of their vaccination records. And, you know, if they're a boy or girl, like what difference does it really make when they just legalized transgenders being able to be in the situation? So what difference does it make?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to go back before you move on too far from the NFL.
Okay, I think I was done. Okay.
Okay. I was like, I don't want you to go too far.
I'll go all over the place.
In the NFL, I think they're 90-something% vaccinated, but they have already fired coaches. They've already fired coaches, and they've already explained to them that, yep, it is your right. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. But we're trying to get a hold on this. We've got fans coming in. And here's my thing. They fired coaches because they're in the inner circle. They're going to be around the players. They're going to be around other people. And they just decided if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. But you just can't work here. So they've already fired a few coaches, and no player has been fired yet that I know of, and all players are not vaccinated. But the NFL is saying that I don't know if it's 94% or something like that of the NFL is vaccinated. Like last year we had football with no fans. So they don't want to do that again this year. They want fans to come in, but they want to keep their players and coaches safe. So that's why they're choosing to go the vaccinated route. Somebody was going to say something.
But to play devil's advocate, and I'm an RN, so you know I agree with it, but you tell me to go get vaccinated, but then we have the Delta variant, and then you say, well, it may not protect you against that. You may still get it. It just may be lesser, or it may do this and may do that. So it's like you're teetering with these people's lives. You know, they don't know what to do. Take the vaccine, I'm still going to get it. Don't take the vaccine, I'm still going to get it. You know, and I took it. My whole family did. But I'm just thinking of their mindset or what they're thinking.
All right, my friend Neil. Hey, Neil. How you doing, Neil? Neil says you've got players ready to retire over vaccinations. Absolutely. And yet afraid to take a knee. But
I was going to mention a little bit about that discrimination because you mentioned a story about a athlete that's going to be in the Special Olympics who her aide was actually her mom, who's blind and deaf, and that she isn't allowed to go because they consider her mom, who is her aide, to be there because she's blind and she's deaf, and she's also very good because she's gone to the Olympics before and won gold medals. They're saying she can't go, so now her daughter can't compete. It's just this discrimination, all these rules, and they're saying that maybe that they would overturn it, but it's just. I don't get that one at all.
I thought that was that story actually. Sorry, Lindsay. That story disturbed me to no end. Like you expect this girl, I mean, with a conscious and just a sensible mind, her to come to a country that she's never been in. She's blind and she's deaf without her mom or her aide. Neither one. Right. So how is she? And then you want them to sleep in a twin bed on the street because you're trying to control your sex trafficking volume. Are you serious?
It's just one person. Her mom is her aide, so it could just be one person that she brings, and they're not even allowing that one person.
It was her mom and her trainer, and they wouldn't let either one come, and so she ultimately had to quit. And I thought that was just absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And like you're doing the Special Olympics, like you have to not. It's not. I don't get it. I don't understand. She's beat
all the odds, and then she comes to for you. This is for your organization, the Olympics, and you turn her away.
Yep.
She's somebody who's
Wow,
who's done that.
Wow.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, Swag Girl, these are the times we live in.
It is.
You know,
nothing surprises me anymore at all. Like when I hear things, I'm just like,
Yeah.
because
Personally. Okay.
Ladies, well, you know, time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
We're at the end of our show tonight, ladies. Thank you so much. You guys did fabulous as always. Everyone at home, please share Ladies in the Locker Room with your friends.
Please.
You know, as you say, we have very in-depth conversations. We're a plethora of information that you probably didn't hear anywhere else and don't know about, but we want to bring it to you. So don't forget to check us out, Ladies in the Locker Room, on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And also you can find us on YouTube and on Facebook Live. Ladies, do you have anything else you want to say before we log out?
Nothing to say, but just I'm gonna do it one more time.
Oh, I gotta go buy me a jersey.
I'm like, I need to like.
That's still a nation. You know, that's still. You know what? It's undeniable.
I'm gonna do it the whole season. So get ready.
In the Hall of Fame game.
Huh?
Did you watch them in the Hall of Fame game?
I didn't, but I will go back and I will find it on YouTube somewhere. I'm gonna find it.
There you go. There you go, Lindsay. Get something.
They did look really good. I want to say Coach looked like he was good and rested. He always looks good in the beginning of the season.
And then he looked a mess.
They got him to rest. He looked really good. So, like I said, it's hard for me to be a fan of one team because I'm a fan of so many players and coaches around the whole league, but it was a good game. I'm wishing I'm wishing much success to a lot of people, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen with COVID and how. Yeah. And then speaking of this, continue to say prayers for people. I have a friend who kept saying he was going to go get it. He kept saying he was going to go get the vaccination. He never did. He's in ICU right now. They don't think he's going to make it.
Oh wow.
I know that some people feel like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Mm-hmm. I'll be damned if I want to catch it and die. Right. So I want to catch it. If I catch it, I want to live. So I am vaccinated. And now, like I said, as many times as we've talked to him and we preach to our friends and family. I preach to my friends and family all the time. Yeah. This, ladies, and all of you are younger than me. And I want to tell you, this is not the first time that we've had a vaccination thrown at us kind of last minute like this. I remember being a little girl. I don't even know which one it was. I don't know if it was the polio. I don't know which one it was, but they shut schools down, told parents your child will not be allowed back in this school unless you go get this vaccination. It is not the first time this has happened. And it's the only way they can kind of corral it and try to. We lost more people with COVID than we've ever lost before. This is the
absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm looking at people that are doubting vaccination. I'm like, it's never happened like this before, and I don't want it to keep happening like this. Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is your right, and it's like I said to our friend, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it. I was in his exact words. I was up and down about it, but I'm gonna get it. Never did. Now he's in ICU and may not make it.
Wow. And the saddest ones are when people are asking for the vaccine when they're like about to be intubated, and you're just like, those stories break my heart.
You can't give it to them. Now they can't get it because they're too sick. They're too sick. So, and I have family members who haven't taken it and said they're not going to. And Lord, I really just pray. And my mom, as I tell you guys all the time, my mom, I live with my mom and I care for my mom. She's 85 years old. She had COVID and she survived it. But Lord, we never want to go through that again. So she's also now vaccinated. So I'm just hoping that, people understand this is not the first time we had to have a vaccination to live. Christopher. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody next week. LadiesInTheLockerRoom.com. Send us a message if you have an athlete you'd like for us to interview, or someone that you want us to talk to. LadiesInTheLockerRoom@gmail.com. LadiesInTheLockerRoom@gmail.com. Send us a message. Thank you, ladies. And anybody have anything?
No. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
Jonathan. Thank you for our technician.